Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, reality, freedom, justice, and equality, Brother Minister Alif. Today we're going to look at Message to the Black Man in America by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Specifically, we're going to look at the case for reparations. What is reparations? Why did other people get it? Why did Native American Indians receive reparations? Japanese Americans, German Jews receive reparations, So we see that reparations were paid to other people. We seen President Clinton and them declare reparations for victims of Cuba shooting down the airplane back in 1996. So we want to look at reparations and why everybody got reparations and why did they get reparations so fast? But after 400 years of slavery, suffering, and death, Black folks of the diaspora still did not receive reparations. Let's get into this, family.
That this should give you a knowledge of the Muslims' belief. Now we turn to another question, which is always as well as who is the Muslim. This question is what the Muslim want. This is asked frequently by both the white and the black. The answer to this question I shall state as simple as possible. Number one, we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. Number two, we want justice, equal justice under the law of justice. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. Third, we want equality of opportunity. We want equal membership in a good society, a society of righteous, a society of civilized people who believes in peace, who believes and practices peace and kindness and righteousness. Fourth, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves, masters, and to be allowed now to go to their own in some separate territory of this country if we are not allowed to return to our own land and people. Let us leave you. Let us go to our own people. Let us live somewhere to ourselves. This is what we want. We want to be our own self. We love our own selves. We love peace and contentment. We want to be at peace and we want to be contented. We can't live at peace with you. This has been proven over a period of now over 400 long years. Either on this continent or elsewhere, we believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and that the area must be fertile and minerally rich. What I mean, we don't want no Indian reservations. We don't want no desert. We want land that we can produce the necessity of life on for ourselves and our people, as you have now. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we cannot get along with you in peace, and there is no equality between us, after giving you 400 years of our sweat and blood, and receiving in return some of the moist waste treatment that human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contribution to this land and people, the white race, this suffering forced upon us by white America, justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own. Fifth, we want freedom for all believers of Islam who are now held in federal prison houses. We want freedom for all black men and women. Now, some of them is even under death sentences in prison in the United States of North America, as well as elsewhere, anywhere they are held as prisoners. We want every black brother and sister, man or woman, to have the freedom to accept or reject being separated from the slave master's children and established in a land of their own. We know that the above plan for the solution of the black and white conflict that is now going on between them is the best and only answer to the problem between the two people, black and white. Separation is only the answer. Separation is the solution to this 400 years old problem, as it is written and prophesied by Abraham that we would be lost and found among strangers and in a strange land. And after 400 years, God himself would judge that people and bring again us into our own who has been lost and now found. 6, we want an intermediate into the police brutality and mob attacks against we, the so-called American Negro, throughout America, which we believe and are satisfied is bound to end in the destruction of one or both. We believe that the federal government should intercede to see that black men and women tried in their white courts receive justice in accordance with the law of justice of this land. Allow us to build a new nation of ourselves and for ourselves, dedicated to justice, freedom, and liberty. We, number 7, believe that this is the best way to bring about peace among our people and yours. As long as we are now, or rather not allowed to be separated into a state or territory of our own, we demand not only equal justice under the law of the United States of America, but we also feel that we are justified in sharing in equal employment and equal opportunities. We believe that this should be done now. We do not believe that after 400 years of free or nearly free labor, sweat and blood, which has helped America become rich and the most powerful of her kind throughout the earth, that so many thousands of black people, we, the black people, should have to subsist on relief, charity, or live in poorhouses. 8, we want the government of the United States to exempt our people from all taxation as long as we are deprived of equal justice under their law of their land, America. The last one hard and the first one fought. Since we own no land here in America, out of all the 50 states now that America's on, she have not as yet offered to her 22 million free slaves who served their father for 300 years in servitude. Not even the teeniest state in the Union, she has not offered her slave nothing to go upon. While Israel was offered something to leave Egypt with, a few gold pieces. They was helped to get out of Egypt. But we have been let loose like cattle, not even having any chance whatsoever to go away from our slave masters to our own. And they would not carry us back to our people. Let us remember these things. Almighty God, Allah taught us that our fathers wanted to go back to their people when they was put off on the shores of America, of North. And the ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our parents here on, they stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves, bound together. Feet. And when they was put off on this memorable shows. They stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on the ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shores of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here? They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that. We want an equal education so that you will know better. But in separate schools up to 16 for the boys and 18 for girls, on the condition that the girls be sent to women's colleges and universities. We want all of our black children educated, taught, and trained by their own teachers. Under such schooling system, we believe we will make a better nation of our people, the United States government should provide free for all of us the necessary textbooks and equipment for schools and colleges. We believe that is nothing but right and justice that they should build schools and colleges and universities and everything necessary to equip them for the teachings and trainings that we so miserably need and desire. The Muslims teachers shall be left free to teach them and train our people in the way of righteousness and the way of decency and self-respect. 10. We believe that intermarriage or race mixing should be prohibited between the two races. We want the religion of Islam for our people, and we want it taught to our people without hindrance or suppression. These are some of the things that we, the believers in Allah and Islam, His true religion of entire submission, we are called Muslims. We who have submitted ourselves to do the will of Almighty God. We are the people that want nothing other than righteous, and we are the people that want to leave America for our own. Self and kind. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Shalom. Peace. Hotep. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, reality, freedom, justice, and equality. Brother Minister Alifullah. Beloved, today I just want to give y'all a synopsis of the update on reparations so that you can stay abreast of what's happening or what's not happening. You know, I'm going to try to be fair and impartial. I mean, you know, certain things may seem easy or seem, you know, on the desk of certain leaders, but at the end of the day, it's on all of us. It's not on one person. It's not on this leader or that leader or this religion or this non-religion. It's on all of us. Now, I mean, it takes a collective effort to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Unfortunately, many of our organizations, whether they call themselves Black, African American, Asiatic, Moor, Muslim, Christian, atheist, what have you, you know, we still suffer the effects of imperialism, you know, due to chattel slavery here in the wilderness of North America. And there are many brothers and sisters who are sincere, and they have given their time and efforts to try to get us reparations. And it's not as easy as it may seem. The real problem is, as long as we stay unconscious mentally, politically, economically, spiritually, what have you, you know, as long as the imperialists can keep us divided against each other, they can literally continue to rule over us for the next 100,000 million years. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us about this in Message to the Black Man in America in 1965. All right, so here is going to be 6 real short, brief updates on what's going on with this reparations stuff. All right, number 1. It's dealing with the U.S. reparations legislation and related efforts as of today. That's September 2025, family. All right. Number 2, at the federal level, H.R. 40/S40, as it's known, is basically a commission to study and now remember, this is just a bill to study and develop reparation proposals. All right, so let's get this real simple and clear for you. There really is nothing happening with reparations right now. Despite the efforts of many of our leaders and movements on reparations, but it's being delayed intentionally. And the reason they're able to delay it is because they're able to buy out certain people, buy out certain leaders and organizations, spin us, use our division, use our lack of will, our lack of dissatisfaction against us. All right, so on the federal level, HR 40/S40 is the commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans Act. All right, so that's where we at right now. So we got to understand certain things. Like I remember Brother Minister Salis Muhammad, he was pushing for reparations, and the Afro descendant, like one of the issues is like our Moors brothers been telling the whole world for the longest, you need a national identity. Like black is not our nationality. Whether you're Moor or not, that don't mean that we're not black, because the universe is black. Black is the base from which all colors derive from. But as far as your national identity, you need a national identity. Master Muhammad taught us what? That our national identity is Asiatic. He taught us that the original man is the Asiatic black man. He put Asiatic before black. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. All right. So we're Asiatics, not, it's a lot of misinformation out there. We're not saying we're Chinese or Orientals or something of that nature there. We're simply saying that we live on a planet that is 57,255,000 square miles of land, 139,685,000 square miles of water. As our beloved brother Dr. Khalid pointed out to us, Africa is not our home. Africa is our throne. Our lessons teaches us what? The planet Earth is the home of Islam, meaning the whole 57,255,000 square miles of land is ours. Every square inch of the 139,685,000 square miles of water is ours. If you add that land and water together, you get what? 196,940,000 square miles. We claim every inch of that. We're saying that the weight of the planet Earth is 6 sextillion tons, a unit followed by 21 ciphers. So we're saying that wherever black people are at in the diaspora or anywhere on the planet, they're home. Black people are home in Jamaica. Black people founded Australia. The original people of Arabia were black. The original people of India were black. All of the gods of ancient India were black people. All of the gods and goddesses of ancient Japan were black. Every last one of the ancient gods and goddesses of the Anunnaki were human being black people. Not one ever was an alien. 100% of the people of Sumer, of Russia, of Europe, of the Philippines, of Australia, of Cuba, wherever you go on the face of the planet Earth, there was and is and shall be nothing but the original people. Who is Allah? The God. But they spooked us up. Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabaz's law of divine and conquer has us so completely destroyed as a people. They got the gods thinking they the devils, and that the devils are the gods. All right, let's look at number 3. It was referred to the House Judiciary Committee. It has not, repeat that, it has not yet passed the House. All right, the fourth prong. H.R. 40 was introduced in the House by Representative Ayanna Presley on January the 3rd of this year, 2025. And the fifth prong, S40, same name as HR 40. That's why we say slash. But S40, same name, was introduced in the Senate by Senator Cory Booker on January the 9th of this year, January 9th, 2025, which is referred to, it was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. So he got a little more headway. He got a little more political clout. You know what I mean? He be fighting, the same opposition, but at least he got it referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. All right. And the last prong, you have 2 major states that's like, at least I would say, attempting, and that's California and Maryland. All right. Now, California and Maryland is pushing it at the state level. California is pushing for reparations at the state level, and Maryland pushing for it at the state level. But when you dealing with the devil's politics, and you dealing with lobbying and getting vetoed and all that, and bribes and corruption, I'm really not looking too favorable for something like that to come to pass overnight. All right. However, even though it's nothing realistic that's taking place with reparations as of 2025, at least the ball is on the court. At least the players are on the field. They're trying to make moves. They can become more effective if we become more effective. We have to educate our people. So in my little micro atomic part, I'm going to try to give the family some simple, basic foundations as to why we should get reparations. We need to cover the 6 essential elements: who, what, where, when, how, and why. And, we can't make it too complicated because our people are not a complicated people. So we got to make it so plain that the people could relate and understand the basics or get the gist of what we're saying, and that they will be able to say, okay, let me help organize this thing. Because really, if we was to come together as a people and get serious about it, we could do it overnight. If we just, we could literally be like, we're not taking no for an answer. We're going to make it happen. You know what I mean? It's just that right now, politically, economically, socially, psychologically, we just still got that slave mentality. So, you gotta be patient with our people. You can't compare black people in the wilderness of North America, or so-called African Americans, to the Jews in Germany. The Jews in Germany, they had a language, they had a flag, a white flag with the 6-pointed blue star on it. They had a God. They knew Yahweh. They knew the Hebrew language. They had their own language. They had their own culture. They had their own holidays. Despite what other people on earth was doing, they had their own thing going on. You know what I mean? Same thing with Japanese Americans getting that reparations so fast. They came from Japan. They their descendants. They know about the Nipponese. They know about the flag with the sun on it. They had their own Japanese language, their culture, their traditions, their mores, their gods, their goddesses. So, they were able to get reparations. Even the Native American Indians right here in the wilderness of North America, after everything was said and done, they ended up with their reservations and their economic situation where they could build casinos or what have you and do for self on some land in the United States to call their own. You know what I mean? Because they're descendants of 1 billion Indians that got a continent over there. They got their own land, their own flag, their own language, their own gods, their own goddesses, their own traditions and ways of life. You know what I mean? But when you deal with the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, if you will, you know what I mean? You're dealing with a people that literally don't know our language. We don't know which flag is our flag. You know what I mean? We don't know which country we come from in Africa. You know what I mean? So the devil uses Jacob's law of divide and conquer to keep us confused and divided. But the messenger's message in this age of mess comes in to heal us and give us guidance. The message thing is real simple. Listen, we're not saying this black person in New York is from Ghana, or this one is from Egypt, or this one is from South Africa. We're saying we're world citizens. It makes no difference where the black man or woman or child is at in the universe covering 230 quintillion, 640 quadrillion miles. It's all our people. We are the founders of it all. Everyone that already has reparations are from the genetic essence of the black woman and the black man. They came out of the dominant gene. Our lessons teaches us what? The original man has 2 genes, a black gene and a brown gene. There's a dominant gene and there's a recessive gene. Even white scientists, like the Austrian monk Gregor Mendel, look him up. You know what I mean? He studied the sweet peas and seen in nature, everything has a dominant and a recessive gene. You see? Black people, melanated people, they just happen to have so the people on earth, whether they're brown, yellow, red, white, whatever so-called race they may come from the original people. Who is the God? There is no mystery God in the sky. There's no alien civilization out there that enslaved us. It were human being Europeans. Even though history is not a science, but even though historians try to trace it back to the 1400s, like 1453, and how the king and the Catholic Church and them use racism, sexism, classism, and imperialism to enslave us. They're the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor. They taught the poor lies. They exploited and dominated the planet Earth. You know what I mean? But it didn't start with them. See, people look at it like, oh, it goes back to history. No, it don't. It goes actually to the very nature of human beings. See, you to really understand this thing, you got to look at nature. You got to look at the universe. The universe has these protons, these positive forces, but it has these neutrons, these neutral forces, and it has these electrons or these negative forces. There's positive, indifferent, and negative. There's good, there's mortal, and there's evil in everything. You see? So once we understand how the universe operates, then we be like, oh, we shouldn't be trying to force the piranha fish to swim in the school with the goldfish. We shouldn't be trying to force the cats to integrate with the mice, we shouldn't be trying to force the dogs to integrate with the cats or the eagles to integrate with the mice. Nature made some dominant and some recessive. I mean, some are going to use war. Some are going to use racism, sexism, and classism, and imperialism, and greed. I mean, you know, that's just the reality of the universe in which we live, you see? But I want y'all to understand one basic thing about all this. At the end of the day, the dominant, the proton, the good, the God, Allah always wins. But for now, the struggle continues. Assalamu alaikum. Peace of the gods, peace of the goddesses.
History is filled with stories of man's inhumanity to man, yet somehow we rise and again to overcome evil and begin anew. It is right that we celebrate victory and honor a justly deserved victory dance. Share your success images here, and let us celebrate together as one united people. Juneteenth is a celebration of victory, perseverance, and success. Let the story continue.